Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside the Burrow, the FAU podcast for and by Owls fans, presented by FAUOwlsnest.com. We did it! We did it! Oh my God, breaking news. We are recording this Monday night. Pete Thamel of CBS has reported that FAU is American Athletic Conference bound. Let me see that. Can you guys see that? I just added it right there. Boom. Get it? The A is like the American Conference A. Thank you. I know I'm an artist. What can I say? Guys, it's happening. We've been talking about this for a long time. We've all known about, the alliance with UAB, UTSA, FAU, and Charlotte. And it's come to fruition. It's real. That wasn't just talk. That wasn't just us trying to troll Marshall fans, which, okay, maybe it was a little bit, but it was also real. Like, sorry. Pete Thamel is also reporting that North Texas and Rice is also going to join. His exact wording is that those programs will be sending an application to the American Athletic Conference, and the AAC plans to accept all six. Kirk and I, we're going to be talking about this pretty much for the entirety of the show. I mean, we talked about UAB, we talked about mid-season, blah, blah, blah. We have Charlotte coming up in a few days, future American Athletic Conference mate, Charlotte. But let's celebrate first, man. Kirk, how you feeling, brother?
I mean, you can't be anything other than ecstatic because, it kind of took care of two things. Just like one, basically not being FIU, and Marshall trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do moving forward. And just, it's just so many better. The American, granted they're losing UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston, but as a whole, the conference is still night and day difference. You still have programs like Memphis. You still have programs like, Temple, USF. You keep that in-state rivalry. Hell, Memphis is going to go play a game in the Burrow potentially. But think about that. A number one, number two seed's going to play in the Burrow. There's just so many exciting things. Obviously, the difference of the TV revenue that as it stands right now. Who knows? Maybe that contract gets renegotiated at some point. But it millions of dollars being pumped into the program compared to watching our games on Stadium or Facebook or what have you. So it's if all this ends up happening, it's monumental for the program.
Yeah, and not only is it going to be more money via TV revenue, but it also means more butts and seats. I'm sorry, but Temple is a better draw than Middle Tennessee. ECU is a better draw than I almost said Rice, but but in Southern Miss, you know what I mean? Like these are
it's just across the board. SMU told every program you pretty much know. Like you don't have Middle Tennessee State rolling in. Like no one gets excited for Middle Tennessee State.
People in Murfreesboro, Tennessee don't even get excited for Middle Tennessee State. That's a program, I know we talked about a couple weeks ago. That's a program that has done a complete 180. They look like they're on the climb, and I don't even know what the bottom looks like for that program throughout athletics. But it's just great. Look what Navy did. Granted, it was Lane Kiffin's first game at FAU, but that atmosphere was insane. It sold out. Great atmosphere, great stadium experience. And you got to think that when ECU comes, really good fan base in the Carolinas. Temple has a pretty good size alumni group right here in South Florida, just like Marshall does. It's not like we're not going to get that kind of crowd. We're just going to be talking to an educated crowd, which would be lovely. The American Athletic Conference is a step above when it comes to academics. Absolutely. Tulane, Temple, we just talked about it. SMU, absolutely. And if Rice comes with us, it definitely is a strong athletic it's probably better than the SEC at that point. For me. Come on, they got Mississippi State. You know what I mean? Jokes aside, but it's wow, man, what a time! The story of the decade, you say?
For the program, it probably is, right? It matters on so many different levels, and you just touched on when it comes to academics. Wasn't even bringing that up, but and all the Owls are going to be in conference now too, with Bryce, us and Rice possibly joining. So, I mean,
That's right.
It's a great day. Everything comes through. It's a great day.
Yeah. With Temple being the Owls as well, I hope we do like a three-way trophy. I mean, because granted, we are so far away from each other. You cannot be further away. Houston, Philadelphia, Boca Raton. But I think it'd be really cool to get something there to kind of get the blood flowing, like what UConn tried to do with their civil conflict with UCF. But I think all in all, the biggest thing is being able to have annual games throughout all sports with USF. Massive. And I know that we might be biased, both of us being Tampa Owls. But that's kind of the dream. I feel like I've always dreamed of FAU, playing at Ray J, whether it's in the Gasparilla Bowl or something, and going out, in Soho the night before, or going to Armature Works and the Riverwalk and seeing other people in FAU red and blue, and then going to the game. I mean, it's different when I was under 21 and doing it now, And Tampa has gone through quite the revolution over the last decade, no doubt about it, with its growth. But that's something that will be absolutely massive. The USF game that was supposed to be in 2020 at FAU Stadium was very close to a sellout, and that got canceled like a month before the game. So it was probably going to sell out. We're going to get that every single year instead of playing Old Dominion, dude. I mean, come on. We're seriously replacing Hunting, West Virginia with New Orleans?
Just the travel schedule is so much better now. I mean, just everything across the board. You have, Philly, you have Memphis, you have Tulane, I mean, New Orleans, just like Dallas. You still keep Houston. I mean, you have so many great cities now to travel to. It's all major hubs. I mean, it's attractive places to go visit now too. I mean, obviously that's kind of a minor thing, more as a fan aspect, but all that stuff to me is important. I think it'll help grow the fan base. It'll make students more excited too, because I think students are one of those things where they look at when you're talking about super fans like us growing up in college, and you're just trying to get 18-year-old sophomore, girl, guy, whatever, Middleton, not to hate on Middle Tennessee State again, but Middle Tennessee State isn't going to draw them to the game, isn't going to make them leave the tailgate and go sit in the heat and watch a football game. That's only to get us. So, it's good. I mean, it's great. There's no other really words to put it. So, I mean, it hits on so many great levels.
With FIU no longer being a conference mate, would you want to keep a annual game with them throughout all sports, or do you kind of want to stick it to Pete Garcia?
I mean, I would like to keep the game, but in most cases, like UCF, I mean, USF approved when, they temporarily separated and, will separate in the future. Even not comparing us to like Texas and Texas A&M when they separated a few years ago. Granted, they're going to be renewing that rivalry soon. They don't play. It's probably not going to be feasible. And it's not going to really give much interest. I'm sure they'll keep playing in the other sports like baseball. I'm sure in baseball, just because it's a close trip, basketball even. But I'm feeling the football rivalry will probably die with this news. And I'd love to keep playing. It'll be an easy win every year. So, but it's sadly, I don't think it's feasible.
I think we'll keep FIU. We'll see what happens. But like you said, definitely for the Olympic sports, basketball, baseball, softball, it definitely makes sense. But I'm just, man, no Marshall, no Southern Miss, no FIU. This is a standing ovation, hats off, job well done to the administration at FAU, from all the way up top to Dr. Kelly, because I'm not sure if anyone read my Q&A with Brian White a couple weeks ago. But President Kelly, university presidents have a major say in conference realignment and conference affiliation. That's because academics is a large part of it, like we were talking about earlier. Wonderful, and obviously Brian White. I mean, he works tirelessly. He works so hard. This is on him. This is the vision that those two put forth. Upgrading the facilities is going to be a massive upgrade to the Burrow. No, we're making jokes earlier, but new locker rooms, completely new suites up there as well. The baseball facilities being upgraded. You can obviously see the Schmidt Center firsthand. The Oxley is going to get a massive renovation. This is the fruits of their labor. This is it. This is exactly why you do it. This is exactly why we become fans of our alma maters or our schools in the first place, because we believe in what we're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to accomplish is being the best version of ourselves we possibly can be. And that means lining up with like-minded institutions, USF, ECU, Temple, so on and so forth, that care about academics. Sorry, Marshall. That care about sports, sorry, FIU, and can balance the two and to create a awesome environment. So thanks for letting me ramble there, guys. I'm just celebrating right now. I'm just happy. Kirk, if I may, I'm rambling, but if I may, you talked about how these institutions are kind of easy to get to. I actually just got off the phone recently with someone who works with a Sun Belt program. I'm not going to mention the program, but he was talking about just how difficult it is to get to programs like they're in Lafayette, Louisiana, and even Boone, North Carolina, about an hour and a half north from me here in Asheville. The Sun Belt was definitely more rural based, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you could see the product they're putting on the field is great. They have decent fan support through most of their programs. But for the type of student that goes to Boca Raton and the type of fan base that we have in Boca Raton, I agree with you. I think that is absolutely massive that we're able to exchange the Huntingtons and Murfreesboros and Bowling Greens and the Hattiesburgs for New Orleans, Philly, so on and so forth. By the way, there's a game coming up. Does anyone remember? I don't know. Beats me. Yeah, so the Owls are traveling up towards my direction. They'll be playing the Charlotte 49ers just a couple hours east from yours truly. Hey, look at this. Charlotte is currently first place in the East Division. We were talking about last week how it kind of seems like it's all doom and gloom from the UAB game, but we said it. We said it a lot. Win this Thursday, and everything is to play for. Chris Reynolds, he's been in school longer than I have. It seems like probably not. I feel like that's impossible, but he's good. They still have that great receiver, Victor. Is it Victor Tucker or Victor Cruz? I always get confused.
Victor Cruz is the old Giants wide receiver.
Thank you, from the NFL. I don't know why I always get it mixed up. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I'll be reading like Victor Cruz right then and there, and it's still just right over my head. So definitely a tough test. We both are on the Will Healy hype train. Do you think this is first, do you think we can win this game without N'Kosi Perry? Why don't I go ahead and say that one first?
I mean, I'm very down right now. I mean, I already kind of started the prediction thread already today, and I'm just very down right now as I'm going on the road. It's like we're two completely different teams. So I at this point, I don't know. We could bring back Chris Robeson. We could bring back Jeff Van Camp. We could bring back Rusty Smith. I don't have any confidence on us going on the road and winning the game until I see it at this point. Just feel like we've been disappointed one too many times this year, or even the past 2 years. Just unfortunately under Taggart, we just have not performed, whether if it's his fault or someone else's. I mean, it's just we don't make the play. We make a few extra mistakes. So until I see that stop, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't win this game because we're a better team from top to bottom. Probably the only place Charlotte's better at is probably Victor Tucker. Other than that, we're better across the board. Like, we don't have that go-to wide receiver, I don't think. But, we have Zion Gilbert, who should be able to slow him down or knock him down, and cover him all game. So, I mean, looking at this game, this is a game we probably should win by 14 to 21 points, but I just don't have that confidence.
And again, it's a road game, our freaking kryptonite for God knows why. So Jordan Helm looks like he might be coming back Thursday. Right now it seems like Perry will be the starting quarterback, but I mean, even Tronti's banged up. He was limited at practice last week. We just don't know who we're going to see. We're going to talk to Coach Taggart again Tuesday. Hopefully most of the conversations about the actual football game and not conference realignment, but we don't know. We just know that the offense, that Charlotte offense is pretty decent. One thing just for sure, I'm happy they don't have Benny LeMay at running back anymore, because that would just be a three-headed monster right there, quarterback, receiver, and running back. So I agree. It really is a game based upon talent alone, Kirk. It is a game we should win by 14 points, but it's a road game. So I feel like you automatically have to give the hosts a 14-point bump, like we saw against UAB, like we saw against.
It's like you have to include a couple It's like you include a couple turnovers, probably a couple bonehead penalties. We seem to give up massive 3rd and longs a couple times, like against Air Force, we did it. We gave up that 3rd and 18 quarterback just run against UAB. It's just like it's not like the defense really played bad against UAB. It was just they didn't make plays when they needed to make some plays, and obviously the offense just with the mistakes. It's just like, you want to see better. It's like we have all this good news, the great news, segue into this, and luckily, I guess we don't have to, stop the narrative low. If we don't win these games, the American's not going to want us. Also, that narrative was always dumb anyway, but it'd be nice to continue on with this positivity.
I think for me, let's say hypothetically we do lose Thursday, and it really hurts us in the Conference USA, especially in the East discussion. At least we have something to brag Marshall. You know what I mean? To just crap on them, which you guys know is my favorite pastime. Absolutely. So, yeah, there you go. Holy smokes. Guys, before we sign off, I just want to say real quick, we talked a bit about this earlier about FAU and FIU in basketball. One of the greatest games of all time was the 2011 game at the Burrow. For those that don't know, especially you youngins, it's still so weird saying that. FAU was down for pretty much the entire game. They were down double digits with a minute left. A very talented guard from New York, Shavar Richardson, hit 2 3-pointers back-to-back just within seconds of each other. Absolutely incredible to put us back in the game. I think it was Brett Royster. Yeah, Brett Royster with a putback layup to give us the lead with like 5 seconds left. First time we had to lead the entire game. Last lead change of the game right there as well. Incredible night at the Burrow. We all stormed the court. It was such a joy. You can look it up on YouTube if you want. FAU, FIU, 2011 at the Burrow. There is a YouTube video. Shavar Richardson, the guard I was talking about, he sadly passed away over the weekend. So we just want to send our thoughts to his family, the FAU basketball family as well. We saw some posts from some former Owls basketball players. So we just want you to know that we're thinking about you guys, and especially Shavar's family. And we want to thank Shavar for that magical night at the Burrow. It's something that me in my freshman year, I know I will never forget. So stinks to kind of end on a bad note, but hey guys, we're American Athletic Conference bound. We did it. Mission accomplished. Everything else is gravy, baby. All right. Hopefully we come back Thursday. After Thursday, we'll come back next week and we'll have a conversation about an FAU victory. FAU being tied for first place in the East. If not, we're still going to American Athletic Conference and Marshall isn't. So there you go, guys. So from Kirk and myself, thank you so much for listening. This is dropping tonight. We're going to try and get on everything tonight. So thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all of y'all following along. And go Owls, baby. Great time to be an Owl. You better believe it. Thank you.